Hello and welcome back, CEDIA 2020. Thanks for joining us here at Modus VR. So this is our fourth demo of the day. If you want to check any old ones, they should be available on YouTube. You can always rewind a little bit and see the different types of rooms. So for our next room, we're going to be tackling something a little bit different. This is a small media room. Could be a living room. It's a very small room. So a lot of people look at Modus and say, gosh, Modus isn't something that we'd use on most projects, or every project, I guess. Sometimes maybe this room is just a little too small. The project doesn't have enough value. What we're going to show you here is in less than 20 minutes, we're going to build out a small room, show a few features, and how you could potentially create some upsell opportunities in these smaller projects. Most of our most successful customers use Modus for at least in some way, shape, or form with every customer that comes in, even if they're not designing their rooms in Modus. Sometimes they're just doing some simple things like presenting other projects that are similar to the project that they're working on in Modus. So implementing it into part of your sales process is an important part, and so we're going to show you a little bit about that. So for those of you who have not joined us in the past demos, what we'll show you is in about 20 to 25 minutes, we'll show you the start to finish process of creating a project in Modus VR, putting some things into a room, some AV gear and a little bit of furniture, and then creating a set of polished deliverables to hand off to your client. Again, all this happens in about 20 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll start off here by how do we create a project in Modus. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to come in here to our launcher software, and I'm going to go ahead and create a space. We're going to call this Living Room Theater. And so we can go ahead and actually use a floor plan, which I have some of these already pre-done. And this doesn't necessarily need to be a CAD drawing from an architect or designer. This could be something as simple as a hand-drawn floor plan like this on graph paper. I'm sure nobody's ever seen a drawing like this where your installers went out and did a quick site survey and drew the room up on graph paper. So as long as the drawing is to scale, we can actually take the image and I can scale it. And I'm doing this using the calibration tool in our reference image. The cool thing about this is it will actually, if this isn't a perfect scan, so my scanner, as you can see, is not a perfectly straight wall, as long as I have a reference length there, I can go like so, and it will automatically scale and rotate this. I should now be able to go in here and draw in some walls on top of this reference image. Let me just check my ceiling height for this room. This room is supposed to be 10 feet tall, so I'll set that. You can also set this in metric or in imperial dimensions. I'm also going to change my snapping to 1 inch to get this pretty precise. From here, all I have to do is I can go up on the top here and click this Add Wall button and just start dragging walls around the area. I can also use a hotkey. Over here we give you some tips and tricks. If I hold the Control key on my keyboard, I can actually add walls just by clicking on and holding the Control button as well. So this is a square room, pretty simple. A rectangular room, pretty simple. Once I have my angles at 90 degrees, I can come in here and verify all my dimensions are accurate. So it looks like I'm about 1 inch wide here, and so if I want to correct that, I can either just type in 20 feet and get rid of that 1 inch, and it will actually snap that whole wall. And then actually down here, our installer gave us some length of the room is 25, so let's just check that. Looks like we're 2511, so I'll just manually put in 25, and you'll see that snaps that right on. But this actually is taking a hand-drawn floor plan and populating it into Modus. So real quickly, you just draw 4 walls, and that's really all you do that doesn't involve VR on the designing and building side of the project or of the process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand it off to a couple of our other guys who are in VR right now. I'm going to go ahead and save this room. And hey Ken, hey Scott, are you guys there? Can you hear me?
Hey Patrick.
Hey guys. All right, let me hop over to the VR view here. And so they have this room now built out and ready to go and ready to put some stuff in it. So at this point, you jump into VR, and everything from here on out, from the designing and building, happens all in VR. So go ahead and take it away, guys.
All right. So
I'm going to start a timer. Let's see how long this takes. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Great idea. This is Ken in green.
And Scott in blue.
And one of the things you mentioned, Patrick, that I really want to call out is because things are so fast in Modus, it has the opportunity to change who, in terms of customer base, can actually get 3D renders. It used to be that this type of experience was reserved just for high dollar, high complexity projects. But Modus makes it so quick and easy that you're now able to open it up, this kind of white glove treatment to any client. And that's why we're doing this room. This is not a spectacular room. It's not one that you're going to write home about, but for this particular client, it's still the most important room for them. And so being able to treat them like a high dollar client is going to do wonders for that client's perception of you. And you never know, they might come back at a future date with a more expensive project. They might refer friends that have more expensive projects. The important thing is that it's opening up an opportunity to give everybody this incredible experience, this incredible treatment that's normally reserved just for these high dollar, high end projects.
And that can definitely generate referrals too, right? You give someone a good experience,
It
they tell a friend. We've had that happen with our customers.
Yeah, well, and that's a big part of it. Is it's you're able to give people a sales experience that's worth talking about. We've had several cases where customers of ours have generated more revenue simply because one of their clients had a good enough experience that they started talking to their friends about it. That's pretty rare to have people bragging about the sales experience they experience. You don't really get that with a car buying experience, for example.
I usually dread the
Alright.
car buying experience.
Right, it's not really pleasant. So in this room, we're just building out a simple media room. We're going to recommend a 75-inch TV. You know, maybe we'll put on some content here. Maybe they're a gamer and they like playing some Fortnite. But on top of that, we're going to also recommend a nice system. It's a small room, so we don't need something that's crazy high performance, but at least want it to be good enough to fill the room, get them some good sound, but also stay within their budget. And so to do that, we're actually going to, we did some Stark sound speakers earlier today, but they've got this really small system called the Lumi that we're quite fond of here.
Oh, I
Just
like
an
that
elegant,
red.
stylish little thing. Yeah, maybe we'll keep it red. Maybe we'll switch it to white. We'll see. But these
That's
are
not
just,
a hard thing to change, though.
No, in fact, let me just do that really quick. Switch these over to the white model. I kind of like that too. It's
Yeah,
just
there you
nice
go.
and clean. Then we'll bring a couple more of these back here. Keep one on a stand. And really, I mean, something like this can be helpful when the client, perhaps a spouse, is a little bit stuck on the question of what's it going to look like? How much is this going to ruin my aesthetic? And that's where it's really not even a performance question. It's just an aesthetic question. But still, those can slow down the deal. And especially for a small project where timelines are everything, because you don't want to be spending weeks going back and forth on such a simple project. You really want to get that client to the point where they're saying yes as soon as possible.
Definitely. Now,
And Modus
Scott,
helps you get there fast.
it looks like Scott's just about done detailing out some of the finer touches of the room. How you feeling about the room, Scott?
Yep. We are done. I got it all saved. We should be finished.
3 minutes, 45 seconds.
Okay.
Wow.
So I think that's a good use of time. 3 minutes, 45 seconds. So, and in most cases, your clients aren't going to be in here with you while you're designing. They could, but in most cases, you're doing this beforehand. And that's where we talk about VR as a design tool. But then when it comes time to present, that's where the Modus suite of tools can really help out. So an ideal experience would be having a client in VR with you so that they can walk in and experience the space as you've designed it. That's not always practical. It's not always even possible. And so you can also share one of these sessions over screen, like Zoom or live streaming like we're doing right now, and you still get all of the same benefits of this highly interactive experience where a client can say, well, hey, what if we put the TV over there? And you can just show them and say, look, if we put the TV on a different wall, here are our concerns, here's why we recommend this. But it gives you an opportunity to show the client that you hear them, which is really important when it comes to building that rapport. Similarly, we also are going to offer a lot of tools that, Patrick, you're going to run through here in a minute, where we can generate photos, panoramic 360s, line drawings, and those of course are accessible for projects of any scale, small or large. But being able to deliver that even to a $5,000 client is so valuable, because your lower end clients are more likely to be shopping around, trying to get the best deal. And when you can give them an experience like this, you can give them these polished professional deliverables that you'll show in just a minute, it really sets you apart. And it's going to help reframe the discussion from price to quality of service, because that's really where we want all of our integrators focused is, hey, we're putting our best foot forward, we're taking care of you regardless of budget. So Patrick, I want to turn it back to you so you can go ahead and create some of those deliverables.
Absolutely. So to get the deliverables, we have to go back to the launcher. So everything that we've done in VR now has been saved to a file, and we can go in here and head to our launcher software. And so get rid of this old floor plan. And so the saved file that Scott just sent over to me is right here. So number 4. So we've got a few options in the launcher. We have, obviously, we can edit the floor plan. We don't want to do that. We've already got the floor plan happy. Modus Photo and Create Line Drawings are the two that we're going to focus on. We'll start with the line drawings and finish off with photo. Both of these features have been heavily revamped in the last 3 months. We launched in June, I suppose. We put out a whole new suite of this launcher. So if you've seen the launcher in a previous demo or you've tried out Modus, this is all new. Completely rebuilt from the ground up. So in the line drawings, we now have the ability to take the room, and it automatically generates this floor plan and reflected ceiling plan. So you'll see here's the ceiling plan that has all the coffers that they put in, as well as the floor level. We can also add more views. So let's just do elevations of all 4 of the walls real quickly here. So front wall elevation. And what I do is I just drag this camera over here, and then you'll see on the right side there's some tips and tricks. Again, we try and make this as effort-free as possible. If you hold Control, it'll actually snap to the wall that you're pointing at. So it's a really nice, quick way to get that view without a lot of work. Now, maybe we want a view that includes the speakers, like so. And so you see a preview of it here. Maybe I want to copy that and also have a view that excludes the speakers. So we just want the TV and no speakers. So maybe you want that for doing some references for your installation crew. We can rename that too, I suppose. That would probably be a good thing to do. Call it front wall, no speakers. And then we'll create a couple more views here. So, boop. Oops. I just broke that front wall. There we go. Okay. And then so we'll grab the rear wall elevation as well because we got some speakers there. And again, as you pull this back, it will either clip out some certain things or include them. So we'll go this one, our rear wall. All right. And grab these side walls as well just to be thorough. And exclude that little table. Let's take a quick look at these. Awesome. So this is our left wall and our right wall. Whoops. Right wall elevation. Left wall. Alright, so once you've got your views set, you can come in here and click this Annotate, Step 2. And this is where you're actually able to go in and add any information that's important. So let's say perhaps we had some in-ceiling speakers here and you wanted to call it out. You can actually go off of any object that you've created in the VR session and insert dimensionality, and you can also just insert notes. So this is great for doing things like I was saying. Maybe we wanted to give a reference for the position of these speakers. So this speaker from the center here over to the wall is 4 feet 1, and this guy, same position, over to this wall is 4 feet 3. And then maybe we also want to just give them a quick idea of like what the distance of this or the height of this cabinet is going to be. So you can actually go in and label all these things out, and real quickly you can show someone what exactly your dimensionality looks like. So once you have all these dimensions marked up, maybe we want to grab this one. So we wanted to have the TV dimensions for our installation team. So grab these. And we also want the height of the bottom of the screen to the floor called out. And position off the walls. Okay, so we've got some dimensionality included. So after this point, I can actually go in here and generate the drawings. So this is going to be called Living Room Theater 1. All this information down here is pre-populated from your settings. You can also change it in here. So you can go in and change it to Bob's Home Theater. Change your address, put a phone number in here, etc. So once you have all that set up, click Generate Drawings. This is going to generate a PDF of the file of the drawings that you just created. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Jump over to our PDF viewer. And so you'll see all of the drawings have been put into this nice, professionally formatted, templated design, including your logo, all your company info, and the views. So you actually have a scale down here per each view. So if you are changing the zoom at all, you'll notice the scale changes, all in proportion. So it's a nice, quick way to create a presentable, professional-looking set of deliverables that you can hand off to a customer. And line drawings are a great start to getting that process going, but we also wanted to go one step further than that. So go back here, and I'm going to save those drawings and go back. So the next step of this would be Modus Photo. Now, everybody wants to have really beautiful renders of their rooms and their concepts. Typically speaking, a render is something that is done by either a CAD person or a 3D modeler, 3D artist, that maybe you have somebody on staff that's capable of doing this. In a lot of cases, maybe you have to sub it out, or an interior designer or somebody else is handling that. So the time it could take for you to go from generating the initial interest in the sale here in VR to the beautiful renders could be days or weeks in some cases. So what we wanted to do was offer Modus Photo, which is a real similar look to our VR product. And you'll see this here as soon as it's loaded up. Click over. And so I'm actually driving this using a keyboard and mouse, but this probably looks pretty familiar to the room we were just in because it's the exact same experience, just with a slightly different tune on the lighting element of it. So what we have is the ability to come in here and fine-tune the lighting. I can dim the lights, I can bring these shades down just like we could do in VR, but I can actually fine-tune each individual set of lights as well. So maybe we want this lamp to be a lot brighter in this particular scene, but we don't want quite as much ceiling light. So you can go in here and create some really gorgeous looking high resolution renders on the fly. I mean, this can be done as soon as you're done with VR, so your customer could still be in the sales process with you. You can say, real quickly, let me just go generate some renders here. And I mean, right now we've been doing this demo for 20 minutes. I mean, that's not a lot of investment of time. It's like Ken was saying, being able to do this for every customer, giving every customer that experience and giving these deliverables that create this just amazing final presentation. So let's put some content on the screen here. And let's do... Ken showed this as a gaming room. Sure, why not? Let's do some Fortnite. And we're just going to adjust the lights just a tiny bit here. So, get a little bit more. That looks pretty good. Like that. So I hit enter and it saves, and you can see down in the bottom left corner there, it saved a capture of that. You can also grab a couple different angles of the room from this point. So maybe we want to do something really fancy and artistic, like blur out this speaker. So we've got some settings that allow you to do some things like that as well. You can get pretty creative with the different settings. We want the windows open also. Something like that. This doesn't show too much of the technology side of the room, but it does show where those rear speakers are going to be located. Get those shades all the way up. And I'll grab a capture of that. So those are the 2D renders. We also have a new feature we're showing at CEDIA this year. This is a developmental feature that we should have out very soon. This is our 360 mode. So you'll notice in the top right corner there, it says Control plus Enter make 360. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a position in this room, and for this room, because it's so small, I'm just going to do it right here from pretty much the center of the room. I'm just going to take a quick peek around and see what things look like. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, fan looks good. Alright, so I'm going to hit Control and Enter. And you'll see this generates a 360 view. What's going to happen is that actually exports to a web link, a URL that your customer can click. You could send this to them in a text message or via email, whatever way you want to communicate it to them. And they click that link on any device. It could be an Android tablet, it could be an iPhone, it could be a computer, it could be anything. As long as it has a web browser, it will pull up a 360 immersive image of the shot that you just took. Now we're going to take these and post them to our website, to the CEDIA website here, as well as in chat. So if you hang on for just a few minutes, I'll actually grab them, and Ken will actually take all the deliverables, the PDF and the screenshots that we just captured, and put them on the CEDIA landing page as well. So you can take a look at all the deliverables, see exactly what you'd be getting as far as client deliverables are concerned. So that's our demonstration. We'll be doing another one in about 36 minutes. So top of the next hour, we'll start up our next demo, and we're doing demos all day today and tomorrow. Different rooms, different types of spaces. We've got a lot of different themes and styles of rooms for you guys to check out. So if you want to stop by for another demo, please do. If you have any questions, post them up in the chat. We're happy to answer. It looks like Greg's out there asking a few questions. So thanks for stopping by and experiencing the Modus VR demo here at CEDIA. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks a lot.